Retrieve AutoInc values with BDP in Delphi 2005. In this article I'll use the term identity interchangeably to note auto-generated, from RDMS, values usually for a column representing the primary key of a table. These are called sequences in Oracle and generators in Interbase. Actually, there are three options to get the identity value back using ado.net in general. Use a batch query. The database obviously has to support this. Use a stored procedure, as the insert command, having as an output parameter the identity value. This is the fastest and thus recommended method. Handle adapters RowUpdated/RowUpdating event and issue a select at identity. In case of SQL Server, query encode in this event handler. Slowest. The first two options rely on UpdatedRowSource property of a command object so that the new value is propagated back to the dataset object. Unfortunately, this property has not currently been implemented in bdpCommand. That means that the only viable option is the third one, and I'll build a sample application against MS SQL Server Northwind database, showing this. Start Delphi 2005. Do File New, and select the Windows Forms application, Delphi for .NET option. Drag from Data Explorer the dbo.Employees table from Northwind database in MSSQL provider. Details on how to set up this connection can be found in this excellent article by Bob Swart. Employees table uses an AutoInc column as primary key called EmployeeID. Right-click the BDPDataAdapter created and select Configure Adapter. This will bring up the DataAdapter configuration form for the bdpAdapter component. Modify the select clause as is shown in the following picture and click GenerateSQL. Click on the DataSet tab and select New Dataset and click OK. Set bdpAdapter active property to true. Click the Tables property of the newly created dataset. Dataset 1. This will bring up the Tables Collection property editor for the dataset. Select Columns and this will bring up the Columns editor for the Employees table. Select the EmployeeID column and change the following properties. Auto increment equals true. Auto increment seed equals -1. Auto increment step equals -1 as is shown in the following picture. Note: since the values we will set in the dataset will be discarded anyway during applying updates to the database, then any dummy, unique, value could be used as well. However, it is a good practice to set the auto-increment value of the column representing the primary key field as true and make it take unique negative values, because this way we rely on dataset's properties to get temporary unique values, and in addition using negative values as temporary employee ID values makes sure that there is no conflict with permanent, positive, database server assigned values. Drop a data grid to the form and set its data source property to dataset1 and its data member property to employees. Drop a button, rename it as BT and save, and set its text to save changes. Double-click the button and enter the following code. Procedure twinform1.ton save _click, sender, system.object, system.eventtargs, begin bdpDataAdapter 1.AutoUpdate, dataset1, employees, bdpUpdate mode.all, EmployeeID, and the for_th parameter of AutoUpdate method defines EmployeeID as a read-only column. That means that it will not be included in the final insert clause, and that is what we actually want, since this value will be automatically generated from the database server. Finally, double-click the RowUpdated event of BDPAdapter and add the following handler: procedure twinform1.bdpDataAdapter 1_RowUpdated, sender, system.object, borland.data.provider.bdpRowUpdated event args, var cmd bdpCommand, begin if e.status equals update status.continue, and e.statement type equals statement type.insert, then begin cmd equals bdpCommand.create, select at identity bdpConnection1, e.RowEmployeeID equals command execute scalar, e.Row.accept changes, and, at first, I ascertain that an error has not come up during the update of this particular row. Update status.continue, and if the row been saved was an inserted one. In that case I create a bdpCommand object issuing the select at identity query. I then assign the retrieved value to the current row, e.row, and finally I call e.row.accept changes to remove the change I made from the change log. Note that we should use at scope_identity instead of at identity in case there were audit tables in the database automatically updated through some trigger, making at identity the value inserted in the audit table and not the real table we are updating. Run the application and add a couple of rows. Click the Save Changes button and the employee ID values will have automatically been updated. Similar techniques, involving the RowUpdating event, could be used to get a generated value from an Interbase generator prior to applying this new value to the database references, Borland Delphi 2005 RAD for ADO.NET, by Bob Swart, Microsoft Edu.NET, Microsoft Press, by David Seppa, How to Use Auto in Fields with DataSnap by Dan Miser.